Hello and welcome to class 570. Here we are. Marta and me are together with you in an interesting room. This is not the same studio as many programs ago. There's a big, bright light in front of me. There are two cameras, not three. In the other studio, there were three cameras. Yes. And there's a big ladder, una escalera de eso. There's a big ladder over there. It's big, eh, Marta? It's a big ladder. Wow. All right. There's a radiator over there. And the doors are over there. There are two doors over there. There isn't a window up there. Up there, over there, down here. Down here, there's a little table. You see, there's a little table down here. You see, I can keep this thing. This is connected to my microphone. And I don't need to put it in my pocket or behind me on my belt. I can put it down there on the little table. Yes. So there are a lot of things here. And there's a microphone up there. There are two lights up there. There's a big light in front of me. But it's a nice studio, but there's a bit of an echo. There's a bit of reverberation. I prefer the old studio. What do you think? I mean, if you go into R2 La Carta, Vaughan, you can watch me on the internet, and you can go back, for example, to program 510, and quickly go back to this one, 570, and you can compare the sound. And you tell me which one is better. But it doesn't matter. This is good enough for you to continue progressing. This is good enough for you to continue making progress. So, no excuses, nada excusas, no excuses. Okay, list number 9, translation booklet. I'm going to start from the beginning, from yesterday, very quickly. ¿Cuánto tiempo nos queda? How much time do we have left? Every class I ask Marta the question, how much time do we have left? How much time do we have left? Nos quedan 2 horas. We have 2 hours left. Richard, hay un agujero en tu camisa. There's a hole in your shirt. There's a hole in my shirt? Where? Yes, there's a hole in your shirt. Dividamos el dinero. Let's divide the money. 50-50, okay? Let's split the money. Let's split the money. 50% for you and 50% for me. Lo quiero todo para mí. I want it all for me. That's what he says, yes. I want it all, I want it all, I want it all. And I want it now. I want it all for me. No me gusta tratar con gente como tú. I don't like to deal with people like you. Q, como la letra Q. Like you. I don't like to deal with people like you, or I don't like dealing with people like you. You can use both. With the verb to like, and the verb to love, como me encanta enseñar. I love to teach. I love teaching. However, I recommend the infinitive. Oh, Richard, why? Why do you recommend the infinitive? I recommend the infinitive because when you use the conditional, would like, me gustaría, or would love, me encantaría, it's the infinitive only. You can't use the gerund. So, I recommend, for the sake of the consistency, and you're never wrong, use the infinitive. I don't like to deal with people like you. Puedes hacer lo que quieras. I mean, like what? You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. All right. You can do what you want. Puedes hacer lo que quieres. ¿Has dicho que quieres limpiar el micrófono? ¿Eso es lo que quieres? Pues puedes hacer lo que quieres. You can do what you want, porque es específico. Ahora, aleatorio, lo que se te antoje. You can do, no decimos what, you can do whatever. Anything you want, you can do anything you want. You can do, fíjate, you can do anything you want, you can do whatever you want. No funciona. Funciona si lo tratas bien. It works if you treat it well. If you don't treat it well, it won't work. It'll work. Funcionará es el futuro. Funcionará si lo tratas bien, hombre. It'll work. It'll work. It'll, little, pequeñito, it'll, quitas la L, it will. It'll work if you treat it well. No sabes hacer nada. You don't know how to do anything. Come on, you want to be the boss? Postulas. You don't know how to do anything. You don't know how to do anything. ¿Funciona? Does it work? Does it work? Yes, it works. And that microphone, does it work? Well, it depends on what. What's a microphone? Yeah. What's a microphone for? Well, a microphone is for amplifying sound. Correct. A microphone is for amplifying sound. So, does it work? Yes. Come on, Richard. No, it doesn't. Well, you see, that microphone isn't for amplifying sound. Fíjate. For más el gerundio, para amplificar el sonido. For amplifying. Porque estoy expresando la funcionalidad del objeto. Si expreso el propósito, voy al infinitivo. Lo uso para decorar la mesa. I use it, ¿para qué propósito? I use it to decorate. No se dice I use it for decorating, porque no es funcionalidad. Funcionalidad de un micrófono es amplificar sonido. I use it to decorate. Yes. For example, I use this telephone como pisapapeles. I use this telephone to keep the papers still. All right. It's el uso, su propósito. Ahora, a telephone is for making telephone calls and for receiving telephone calls. So, the question is, does that microphone work? Yes, it does. For me, it works. Because the propósito, purpose escrito, pronunciada la palabra, purpose. The purpose of that microphone is to add a bit of decoration to this class. All right, ¿funciona? Does it work? Me alegro de saber eso. I'm glad to know that. I'm glad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to know that. Se suele, I'm sorry to hear that. Siento oír eso. Siento saber eso. Lo contrario, me alegro de saber eso. I'm glad to know that. Or I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, Margarita ya está bien. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to know that. I'm glad. No hay razón para estar preocupado. There's no reason. There's no reason to be worried. Are you worried? Are you worried, Marta? Yeah, Marta's worried about climate change. And I said, Marta, there's no reason to be worried. And then she's worried about the problems in the Middle East. Los problemas de Oriente Medio. Marta said, estoy muy preocupado. And I said, Marta, she's worried about the problems in the Middle East. And I said, Marta, there's no reason to be worried. And then she said she's worried about the depletion of fish in the North Atlantic. So la paulatina desaparición de peces en el Atlántico Norte. She's worried about the depletion of fish in the North Atlantic. And I said, Marta, there's no reason to be worried. No reason. But she worries about everything. In fact, if you need somebody, if you're worried about something, stop. I will rent you Marta. Te alquilo Marta. And you tell her your problem, and she will take over. Ella asume el problema. And she will worry for you. So you don't need to worry. I will rent you at a good price. I will rent you Marta to worry. All right? And so it's a good job. You take over. Asumes la preocupación. And she'll worry for you. No hay razón para estar preocupado. There's no reason. There's, contracción. There's no reason to be worried. O simplemente there's no reason to worry. No hay por qué preocuparse. There's no reason to worry. Deben de tener miedo de volar. Look at those two people. Look at that. First, in the bar, they were drinking to get drunk. And then they're taking tranquilizers. It's not recommendable. They must be afraid of flying. Because in about 10 minutes, we'll be boarding the plane for a flight from here to New Zealand. 19 hours. 19 hours on an Airbus 380. All right. They must be afraid of flying. Deben de tener miedo. They must be. Conclusión lógica. Deben de tener miedo de volar porque si no, no se portarían así. They must be afraid of flying. Él bebe demasiado. He drinks too much. Really? Yeah, he drinks too much. What does he drink? I don't know. I think he drinks scotch. Scotch. Yeah, Scotch whiskey. Yes, but he drinks too much. How do you know? Because he's always drunk. Every time I see him, he's drunk. Every time, cada vez que le vea, o le veo, cada vez que le veo, he's drunk. Every time I see him, or siempre que le veo, está borracho. Whenever I see him, whenever or ever. Whenever has two meanings. Whenever. Whenever is cuando quieras. Puedes venir aquí cuando quieras. You can come here whenever you want. Puedes ir ahí cuando se te antoje. You can go there whenever you feel like it. Whenever you want. Whenever you feel like it. Y luego siempre que le veo, está enfadado. Whenever I see him, whenever I see him. He's angry. Whenever. Okay, él bebe demasiado. He drinks too much. ¿Por qué bebe tanto? Why does he drink so much? Why does he drink so much? I don't know why he drinks so much, but in my opinion, he drinks too much. Puedo oír todo lo que hacen. I can hear everything they do. Yeah, I can hear it's impossible not to hear the neighbors. I can hear everything they do during the day. Pues no les escuches. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. No lo puedo evitar. I can't help it. They make a lot of noise. I can't help but hear them. Es curiosa forma en inglés. No puedo evitar oírlos. I can't help but hear them. Or I can't help hearing them. They make a lot of noise. And the walls are very thin. Like Japanese houses made of paper, you know. The walls are very thin. So I can hear, debe de ser terrible. It must be terrible. Yo creo que ella le envidia a él. I think she envies him. Envies. I envy you. You envy me. She envies him. He envies her. He suffers envy. El sustantivo, la envidia. Envy. Uno decía que era la gangrena española. La envidia. Envy. Yes. Cain envied Abel. Caín envidió a su hermano Abel. Cain envied Abel and killed him. To envy. Yo creo que ella le envidia a él. I think she envies him. No vuelvas a decir eso nunca. ¿Eh? Don't ever say that again. Okay? Did you hear me? I said, no vuelvas a hacer. Don't ever, fíjate. Podría yo decir, o sea, nunca digas eso otra vez. O sea, no vuelvas nunca a decir eso. Podría yo decir, never say that again. Never say that again, pero eso no tiene fuerza. Ahora, don't ever. Claro, ever porque don't, el agente negador de la frase está ahí. Do not. Don't ever, y ese ever se recalca para fines dramáticos. Don't ever say that again. If you say that one more time, you'll be sorry. ¿Está asustado? All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Don't ever do that. A person is sitting in his sofa at home saying, okay. Don't ever say that again. No vuelvas a decir eso nunca. Don't ever say that again. Oye, ¿sigues ayudando a tu hijo? Are you still helping you? Trabalenguas para mí. Are you still helping your son? Are you still helping your son? Yes, I'm still helping him. He needs help. Why does he need help? Because he lost his job. Oh, so he's unemployed. Yeah. How long has he been unemployed? For 7 years. For 7 years? And he hasn't found another job? No. Well, is he looking? No. Oh. Well, so you're helping him. You know, if you stop helping him, he will be forced to find a job, right? Maybe. Well, stop helping him. How old is your son? 43. He's 43. Oh. And he can't help himself? Well, ¿sigues ayudando a tu hijo? Are you still helping your son? ¿Cuál fue la decisión final? What was the final decision? It's the final countdown. It's the final decision. What was the final decision? What was the final decision? About what? About continuing after program number 600. There isn't a final decision yet. But who needs to make the decision? I don't know. Maybe God. Somebody. Me, no. I'm not going to make the final decision. Yeah, but Richard, can you influence the necessary people in making the final decision? Yes, probably. Podemos influir. We can, but hey, I'm too old to work. For me, it's time to retire. Yeah. It's time for me to go out to the pasture. It's time for me to retire. Se dice en inglés salir al prado a pastar. O sea, para jubilarme. It's time for me to retire. And so, I can insist, influence, and convince, persuade, but should I? ¿Debería hacerlo o no? ¿Qué opinas? What do you think? Should I? Should I? Conectividad. Should I? ¿Se entiende con should I? ¿Debería? Debería intentar persuadir a las personas indicadas. Should I? Should I try to persuade the relevant people? I don't know. ¿Dónde estoy? Where am I? Okay. ¿Cuál fue la decisión final? What was the final decision? ¿Por qué no estuviste ahí? Why weren't you there? Everybody was expecting you. Why weren't you there? Why weren't? Lo he dicho 1000 veces. Weren't. No digas weren't. Dos sílabas, no, una. Weren't. Un británico diría, oh, why weren't you there? Why weren't you? Weren't you? Weren't you? Weren't you? Weren't you es sexto hijo de Carmenchu? Weren't you? Yes. Weren't you? Aren't you? Didn't you? Haven't you? Couldn't you? Can't you? Weren't you? Etc. Must you? Don't you? Don't you like this class? Weren't you? Why weren't you there? Why weren't you there? La T de weren't, con la I de you, weren't you? Weren't you? Por eso los grupos de rock españoles que no hablan inglés, cuando imitan el inglés, dicen, watch you, chu. Porque mucho chu en inglés. De la T con la Y o la I latina, weren't you? Weren't you? Why weren't you there? All right. Les dije que ibas a estar ahí. I told them you were going to be there. And you didn't go. Why weren't you there? Now you made a fool of me. Me has puesto en evidencia como un tonto. You made a fool of me. I specifically told them that you were going to be there. And you didn't go. Why weren't you there? Why didn't you go there? Yes, I told them you were going to be there. Para pensar que soy un mentiroso. They're going there, They're going to think I'm a... Hoy todo el mundo está de ese lado. Ayer estaba por ahí. There are some people over there, by the way. We have an audience. All right. Van a pensar que soy un mentiroso. They're going to think. They're going there. They are. They're going to think I'm a liar. Un abogado. No, a lawyer, no. A liar. Oh, suena igual. No. No suena igual. Abogado, lawyer. Empieza como una O. Es law. Viene la palabra ley, la ley. Law. Sin embargo, cuando decimos lawyer, se escribe así, lawyer, pero la pronunciación, la evolución de la pronunciación ha ido hacia lawyer. Now, mentiroso es liar. También lira para tocar. David y Saúl en el Antiguo Testamento, David tocaba la lira. Liar. Solo los mentirosos tocan la lira. Only liars play the lyre. I don't play the lyre. Never. Which means I'm not a liar. And I'm not a lawyer either. Are lawyers liars? Los abogados son mentirosos. Are lawyers liars? Interesting question. No, most lawyers aren't liars. How much time, Marta? 5 minutes? 5. All right, vocabulary. List 31, page 117. Ambiguo, ambiguous. Everything in the world is ambiguous. Yes. It's true. They say, for example, in Spanish, you say, al que madruga, Dios le ayuda. Good. And then you say, el que, lo de mucho madrugar, no por mucho madrugar, amanece más temprano. A ver, which is better? To get up early? Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Ambiguo, ambiguous. Vela. ¿Qué tipo de vela? ¿Vela de barco o vela de llama? Vela de llama, de cera. Candle. Candle in the wind. Vela en el viento. Candle in the wind. Candle. Yes. A candle. The candle. Yes. You know, a candle, is made of wax. And at the top of the candle, there's a wick. Yes. Como John Wick, la película de John Wick. Wick es la mecha de una vela, no es mecha de una bomba. Eso es fuse, como fusible, fuse, fuse. That's a fuse. También fusible, caja de fusibles. In la casa is fuse box, the fuse box. But in a candle, it's a wick. And you light the candle, light the wick. And the candle is burning. And of course, the wax, after 2 hours, 3 hours, the candle is diminishing and the wax is going down now. But it takes a candle like this, maybe, would take what? 5 hours, maybe? 6 hours to burn down. Now, if you have a wick at both ends, ambos extremos, both ends, fíjate la end, la palabra end como extremo, cabo. Atar cabos sueltos is to tie loose ends. Atar cabos sueltos. All right. To make ends meet, hacer que los cabos se unan, que se conozcan. To make ends meet is llegar a fin de mes, económicamente. To make ends meet. En una piscina tienes la parte que no cubre y la parte profunda. We have el extremo somero y el extremo profundo. The shallow end and the deep end. Y así se dice ahora. These are 2 ends. This is the wick. This is the top of the candle. This is the bottom of the candle. All right? ¿Te aburres? No, it's interesting. Okay. Chorraditos como estas, ¿sabes? En inglés son interesantes. En español me echan. All right. Okay, the top of the candle and the bottom of the candle. This is the wick. And the wick is at the top of the candle, okay? Now imagine there's another wick at the bottom. You understand? So we have 2 wicks, here and here. Now we turn the candle this way, and we light the candle at this end, and then we light the candle at this end. So it's burning at both ends, which means the candle will consume more quickly, right? Se consume en la mitad del tiempo. All right? That means and instead of 6 hours, the candle will burn in 3 hours. The wax. Marta's burning the candle at both ends. Se está trabajando demasiado. Va a afectar su salud. Se dice, no te pases de trabajar y preocuparte. Estás quemando la vela a ambos extremos. You're burning the candle at both ends means you need to slow down. Desacelera un poco la vida, chica. Slow down. You're burning the candle at ambos extremos, at both ends. Do you understand? So you're consuming your health. Tu salud it's a bit dangerous if you work too much, worry too much. You need to balance. You need balance in your life, Marta. A little bit of balance. Yeah, and Marta está enfadándose, diciendo, no me va a parar, seguro. All right. So, vela's candle. Tapa, cubierta is the cover. Cubierta. The cover. Yes, sir. The cover. I'm going to cover the cup and say goodbye. See you tomorrow.